What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Ham Radio Crash Course. Welcome to Friday. Thanks for hopping in. I've got a bit of a cold to kick off this new year. This is the Patron Picks episode. The vote is in, and we're talking about parks on the air today with Mike K8MRD radio stuff. If you're not following him already, please do so over on the YouTubes. Link is in the description, so check him out. Already got a lot of people in here. All right, I appreciate it. Parks on the Air is very interesting to people, so that's awesome. Glad you're all here with us. I'm drinking some tea. All right. Looks like the chat box is not working correctly, so let me get that sorted out really fast. Oh, there it is. It just blew up. All right, good. All right. How's it going, everybody? Let's kill that theme music. All right, appreciate you coming out. Again, this is Josh KI6NAZ, the Ham Radio Crash Course, and our goal is to push for inclusivity, not necessarily breed, but create inclusivity in amateur radio, and we do that by just answering questions and creating a welcoming environment for people. And today we are answering a question of what's up with Parks on the Air. There's a lot of people that do it out on YouTube. The patrons, I have a poll that I run over on Patreon. People ask questions of, they pick the show idea for the first month, and that is the show they requested, that we talk about Parks on the Air. So that's what we're going to be doing. As always, though, I kick things off with a bit of news. Before that gets started, make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Also, make sure you hit up Mike and subscribe to him. I'm sure he would appreciate it. He's doing a lot of cool stuff, a lot of great videos, and yeah, very good. So in the news, in the ham radio news, we have the latest kind of information. Where is it? That's not right. There it is. The latest information of the newest sun cycle. Sun Cycle 25, we're starting to get spots on that. So I told you guys, stick with me. I promise it's going to get better. And we're starting to find out that it is getting better. And so that's great news. We're going to be able to get a lot further out in the future. Anywhere from now to 5 years from now, it's just going to keep going up and up and up until we're at the peak. So make sure, if you haven't already, start looking towards HF, getting involved with that, because it's only going to get better. I promised it. It's happening. And so that's very good news. And I found out about that through official SWR's channel. He streams, I think, once or twice a week, and he does all kinds of cool stuff on video. So make sure you check him out. He's got some cool stuff. Again, he's shortwave listening. SWL is shortwave listening. If that's your thing, make sure to check him out. All right. What else? Let's see. The ARRL has updated their app that they used for Dayton, and it's called ARRL Events. And let me pull that up really quick so I can show you. Let's see. What's the best way to do this? There we go. So, come on, buddy. Is it not going to work? Maybe it won't work. Yeah, it's there. Nope, I might not be able to show you. It worked before the show, and now it's not working. That is always how things happen. Anyway, we'll skip that. But the ARRL Event app is out and updated. So it was just for Dayton Hamvention, but they've updated it to support Hamcation, which is coming up soon. So if you have not already tried that app out, it is actually really, really good and a really easy way to find what different vendors are there, what events are going on. So I highly recommend it to check that out. Also, James Hannibal, Quirky QRP, still doing a $5 discount, Quirky QRP HRCC at checkout. And Palomar Engineers is doing HR73. That gets you a discount on their RFI suppression kits, which I support. I really like it. And James over at part97.com, I've got his new shirt on there with the American flag and the antenna. That's very nice. Go check him out at part97.com. He may be still running a discount, I'm not sure, but go check it out. I think he had a sale. So right on. Okay, we got through the news really fast, so we can jump right into this talk with Mike. Mike, we met for the first time in person at Dayton last year for Hamvention, and we had a lot of fun. So if you're unmuted, say what's up, Mike.
What's up, Mike?
So For those of you that are new, we generally just do a simple interview, and we'll take a lot of diverging topics and take questions in the chat, and we will have a call-in at the end here if there is time permitting. So if you have questions, feel free to hit us up in the chat. We're both watching the chat, and we will also be taking call-ins. Big reminder, we got the Discord after chat. Link in the description for Discord. I don't know if Mike will join us there, but sometimes he's there with us, and we can follow that conversation there. That's a two-party talk, basically chat program for both chat and voice. And so that is where we'll be going after the stream. So make sure you join that before we end the interview today. All right. So how's it going, Mike? What's the weather like there?
It's not as terrible as it was last year. It was, I think, in the 40s today. So
that's not bad.
Not too bad. Not too bad. Last year was brutal. So.
And are you going to Hamcation?
Yes.
Oh, you are? Okay, so Hamcation and Hamvention.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, man, all right.
It's for the world.
Well, make sure you subscribe to Mike then to see all his stuff coming out of Hamcation, because that's going to be a lot of fun. So
I don't know if I'll do anything. I was so excited at Hamvention last year. Like, I tried to make videos, and then I was just like, oh my gosh, this is too exciting, and I never really made anything. So I don't know. We shall see. I might be a little less geeked out just having done one before. So
right on.
But yeah, I don't know.
So why don't you give us in a nutshell your thought on what is Parks on the Air?
Parks on the Air it's awesome for one, but it's basically it's a program. They wanted to make it really easy. The administrators and the people who created the thing. It was spawned from the ARRL's National Parks on the Air. And they wanted to keep it going. Yes. Yep. So basically, I love being outside. I love nature. I love water. I love the sun, all of these things. And when I first started in ham radio and started watching videos and things, I would see these guys just doing portable ops, and that really intrigued me. I'm like, I want to do that. So I found Parks on the Air. And basically what it is, you go to any state or national park that's in their registry. And someone made a comment earlier that there's a bunch of parks that are not listed in Parks on the Air. They're not all going to be. They want to have more parks activated before they add to the database. Mm-hmm. That's, I guess, I don't have anything to do with that, but that's why there aren't all of the parks registered in the database. But there's plenty in Michigan. They're all over the country, and you basically you go to parksontheair.com. It's super easy. You sign up for an account, and you go out into a park. You set up your station. You can be inside your car. You can be HF. You can be VHF, UHF. It doesn't matter. The only thing you can't do is use repeaters.
Okay.
And you need to make 10 contacts within one Zulu day to officially activate the park.
Okay.
And then there's it's not really a contest. There is a leaderboard and things like that, but there's different awards and things. So like right now, I'm going for one called the Repeat Offender Award, where I think you have to activate a park like 20 times, which is why I keep going back to Dodge State Park.
Oh, okay.
One, I like that park and it's near my house, but I found another park that's an equal distance in the other direction from my house. That I like a little better, actually, so I might try to do that. But it's just fun. And when the first time I did Field Day, I operated. They let me use one of the stations. And the first time I ran a pile up was just absolutely exhilarating to me. And that's really what I wanted to do more of. And that's a way to get a lot of contacts, to be outside, to get fresh air, and practice our skill, practice emergency communication, if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah. That's a good way to look at it.
Test your gear, test, different kinds of batteries, different kinds of antennas, different radios, different surroundings, different ground, all of that affects your radio and your propagation and how well you're getting out and all of that stuff. So really, I just like being the pilot. I like being that DX station, so to speak.
Yeah.
And when you're calling CQ POTA or CQ Parks on the Air, whatever you want to do, when you get that pile up, to me, it's just like, it's so exhilarating. I hardly ever call CQ at home. I'm more just hunting and pecking at home, but when I'm out there, it's just it's a rush. It's so much fun, and then you go home and you upload your contacts, and you get awards and things. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah.
There's hunters and activators, so there's awards. So if you don't have portable stuff, as a hunter, and here's the great thing, you don't need to upload your contacts as a hunter. So for example, I have
that's cool.
A diamond certificate somewhere. So the person that's activating uploads their contacts to their section manager. So for me in the 8-call region, it's K8@parksontheair.com is the email, and you just send your ADIF file to the section manager, and they upload all your contacts into the Parks on the Air database.
Oh, wow.
So when I'm at home, I chase, I check the DX, the cluster and things, and whenever I see a POTA or a SOTA, I'll try and work them. I have an app on my phone called Ham Alert that everyone should download.
Yep.
And you can set triggers. So there's a few POTA people that I have in there, like KB3WAV, Carrie. She activates like every single frickin' day. So I have her in my log like probably 30 times. And it's just fun to chase. So as a hunter, you get awards and certificates for helping be on the other side of the activation.
Right.
And as an activator, you get awards for, there's like a million different awards you can get on the Parks on the Air website. And the idea was they just wanted to make it fun. They wanted to make it easy. That's why it's only 10 contacts. The only real criteria is you just have to be within the park boundaries in one Zulu day, and you activate the park.
Yeah, so that's a little bit like SOTA. SOTA has the chasers and the activators, so same.
Yeah.
There's a lot of overlap, but I do like that Parks on the Air, a lot more awards, a lot more kind of engagement on that front. So I do appreciate it from that point of view. I didn't mention this, but Mike also has a cold. What are you drinking today, Mike, on the stream?
It's just Coca-Cola with some. It's mostly bourbon and with a little splash of Coke.
There you go. I've got tea, but mine has Jameson in it, and I do have a beer in case anybody was curious. But yeah, I'm trying to keep my voice loosened up to talk. But I appreciate Mike's willingness to keep talking on all these questions, so that's great. That helps out a lot.
My voice was horrible this morning. So.
Man, mine's still bad. So you kind of already mentioned it. There is parksontheair.com, but where else would someone go if they wanted to learn more on the web about Parks on the Air?
Well, there is a guy on YouTube named Mike that does a lot of Parks on the Air videos.
Yeah, shout out to Mike. Oh, we got it. It's happening. We're getting a super chat. POTA Ballon Fun for Mike.
And there it is.
there's the inside joke. What happens in the Discord sometimes doesn't stay in the Discord. Mike is a regular participant of our Discord, and there have been lots of fun discussions on things that we will talk about in a little bit. Don't worry, but keep going, Mike. Don't worry about the super chat. Thank you, Chris, by the way.
YouTube is honestly where I go for everything.
So there's a Facebook group though, right?
Oh yeah, I'm not on Facebook. I love Facebook.
So that's great.
Yes, there is a Facebook. There is also, there's also a Groups.io. I'm really not in either of those. I technically am in the Facebook group, but I never ever use Facebook.
Well, no, but that's a good point. So you don't need to be a member of the Facebook to be involved in this.
No, you just need to sign up
fantastic.
at parksontheair.com.
Yeah. So now there's a lot of people that don't like Facebook, and so this is great then. So that's perfect.
Yeah. You don't need any of that. You don't need any social media, no nothing. You just got to go out and play radio. Very good. You're still. I'm gonna have to send you all these super chats to get you a ballad, or maybe I'll just build you one and send it to you. I don't need a ballad. So I've got some questions that I'm going off of, like standard interview format that I'm working through. So, what is the least amount of radio you need and this is Mike's opinion, to work Parks on the Air? What is the least amount of radio you need?
Yeah, I mean, and then you can go up from there. But
Um,
like, what would you? And let me be. I guess I should be specific. Not that you can't make anything work. Of course you could. But considering you got to get 10 contacts, you can be in your car. A lot of things. Like, what would you just say? Like, hey, this is kind of the baseline. What I recommend people get, without spending all the
well,
money in the world. I guess is the point.
I mean, I guess technically you could do it with an HT, but on simplex where I live, there's nothing. I mean, 5.2 is dead. So my main rig is the ASU 891
Mm-hmm.
um, with 100 watts, but I did just activate with that radio. This it puts out 7 watts. I think it's advertised as 10, and I got 41 contacts in about 30 minutes, less than that.
That's
So
the Mick
in
HF, right?
QRP.
That's the Mick
Yeah,
HF.
that's the clone.
I love
Um,
that. I love that video. I watched that video. I love that one. I was like, man, you're killing it out there. Yeah, that was a
yeah,
really, really good video.
they
Nicely done.
were banging in.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say get a QRP radio. When I first started getting into portable, I was looking at the 817 because I was watching all of Tony's videos. But 5 watts. So I made that video on a Saturday. The following Monday, I went out and made 0 contacts.
Mm-hmm.
So I think part of that was probably because it was a Monday, but the other part, I mean, it could be propagation. I was using the same antenna, different radio. I was using the Zygu G90 with like 10 watts, big deal.
Right.
And made 0 contacts. I called CQ for like 20 minutes. Like I didn't get started until a little bit later in the day, and I just called it. But I would get a decent antenna, whether it's a wire antenna. I love the Wolfritter coils. This is the Silver Bullet Mini. This thing works awesome.
Yep.
I actually mount this on my trunk sometimes on my lunch break. I work right next to a state park. I work right next to Dodge State Park. So I will go there on my lunch hour, hook this up to my trunk mount, call CQ. It takes me about 15 minutes to get there. I got a half hour operating, 15 minutes to get back, and I activate Parks on the Air on my lunch break sitting in my car, and it's awesome.
That's fantastic.
It's whatever you have. You can be battery power. You can run on a generator. You just need some kind of radio. If you're a QRP guy, do QRP.
So that's a good point too. I didn't think about that, but you can run on a generator, no problem. There's no concern about, using batteries or whatever. I know soda's like that. You got to have it's got to be solar panel or battery or something along those lines.
No, you can do and Parks on the Air wanted to make it easier. You can do whatever the heck you want. You just have to be inside the park. You can be hooked up to the mains.
Oh, wow.
If it has electricity, you can bring your power supply and hook it up to 120 volt and get on the air. Who cares?
Very
good.
The
idea is to get outside and get on the air. That's it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love that. That's perfect. That's that's great. So 86 DM Dennis, thank you for the super chat. He said POTA won't work without a ballad. Go Mike.
Well, 86 DM is also the guy who sent me this radio.
Yeah, so, 86 DM is the guy.
He's very good people.
Go follow 86 DM Dennis on Twitter. He's a great guy. He also runs the JerryNet to some degree. And runs the Slack that Mike and I are both a member of. And Spawny420 asks, does this thing work in Super Chat? Yes, it works. Your message has been received, sir. Right on. So let's see. No, there was something you mentioned to me in a chat when we were talking back and forth. I'm used to doing, when I do soda, I try and self-spot. And I asked you, hey, do I need to go self-spot? And what did you say to that? Go ahead and go talk about that for a little bit.
You can do anything you want. Yeah. I don't like you can do so many things. You can post on the Parks on the Air website when you're going to be out, what band, maybe approximately what frequency you're going to be on. You can post. I do try and post on Twitter like right when I'm there, but not always. You can self-spot. That's fine. You can use any means you can think of to let people know you're out there. I do none of those. I just get on the air and call CQ. Now, I think for me, it's probably a little bit different because I'm trying to film and find a clear frequency. And between those two things, it's a little difficult to also get on the spotting app and put your spot out. If you call CQ, they will come. And and someone will usually spot you. So, yeah, I get on the air and wow, $50.
Wow. Fred Frederson sent
Are those
a
American
rocket ship
dollars?
guy. That's crazy. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Fred Frederson for the win.
Oh,
With that crazy emoji of the guy blowing himself up, the pear guy blowing himself up with a rocket. I like that. Wow.
so,
Thank you, buddy.
yeah, that's about all I have to say about that. I think.
That's all I have to say about that.
Unless you have another question about that. But yeah, just get out there.
So,
Thank you.
since do I mention this? Oh yeah, how do you log? That's a little bit down, but I'll jump ahead since we're kind of talking about apps.
That is the number one question I get.
Yes, and you probably have the same answer I do.
This is an iPad Mini.
Ah.
I use this, and that's a Bluetooth keyboard. And so I tether my phone's Wi-Fi to this. You don't have to, but when you use the app is called Hamlog.
Yep.
I think. Yes. So I use an app called Hamlog. And when I tether internet to my phone, I can type in their call sign and then touch, and it'll look up all the information. So like instant gratification, I know who I'm talking to, I know where they are.
Yep. I'll demo that really quick. Let me. I got my screen working. So or maybe not. There it is. So 7.3 Hamlog. So if I wanted to do a contact with Mike, K8MRD, and do a lookup, it'll fill in all the details there automatically when I click the lookup button. And so there you go. That's nothing to it. It's very, very easy. And that's I use the iPhone app. I don't know if there's an Android version of this. Do you know? I'm assuming you're like me.
I'm pure Mac. So
yeah, pretty much me too, except for
I don't know.
all my PCs that I own.
In the notes section there, I will put if I work a park to park, that's where I'll put what park they're at, and that'll automatically upload in the ADIF. Excuse me. When I email it to the section manager, there are park to park. They track that as well on Parks on the Air website. So park to park contacts are great. But yeah, it's a very, very easy program to use. You just go into the tools, you select export ADIF file.
Yep.
I'll usually import that to my logging software at home. I use a program called Aether, AETHER, on my Mac. I like that better than the other ones that are out there. And then upload it to the Logbook of the World and QRZ, and then I'll email that file to the section manager, and he gets back usually really quick, and you're done. It's very easy. So.
Yeah, and I know you use the iPad with the keyboard, which is probably really nice to use. I just use the phone when I do SOTA activations, and when we did the SOTA hike, we just used the phone app. So.
And when I'm in my car on my lunch break, I use my iPhone. So. Someone says, do you need to keep your POTA batteries warm in the winter?
Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. And yeah, go for it. Go ahead.
Yes, to a degree. So I use lithium iron phosphate batteries. I actually just got a couple little baby ones from Bioenno. Thank you, Kevin, for my QLP.
Right on, Kevin.
So it really depends on the chemistry you're using. The lithium iron phosphate can operate at colder temperatures. Definitely don't charge them when they're under 32 degrees Fahrenheit or 0 Celsius. That will damage the cells. I really don't enjoy the cold, so I don't operate in those temperatures unless I'm just feeling weird. I kind of live in the wrong state. I was born in Florida. But yeah, it is a good idea to keep your batteries warm-ish. So yeah, how about that?
I know we hike sometimes. We throw the battery pack in our jacket, and we hike with that. But that's I've rarely had to do that. I will do that with camera batteries, though. Camera batteries seem way more apt to that problem, I've noticed.
Yeah, those are lithium ion, though. That's a different chemistry. So they have different.
Yeah. Tom, super chat from Tom77 said he purchased the MFJ 1917 mask that K8MRD recommended. Is that the one you're currently using with the guy plate? The big one, right?
I'm sorry, I was reading. What was that? The 1917 mask. Yeah, that is what I use.
Yeah, that's pretty cool looking. That video you did was you put the cell phone on the end of it and shot it up there, right?
Yes.
That's very
Yes.
good. I like that.
Yeah, that thing's awesome. But I needed a mast that big. Basically because of the Pac-10 mini antenna. Because it's a
Right, for the
42
length of
foot.
wire. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. So we'll talk about antennas then. What is your preferred antenna from your experience? And if you want to, go ahead and give us some of the antennas that you've used, and then kind of if you had to zero in on one you'd recommend, or a couple, that's fine too. Go for it.
Uh, phew. Everything is a compromise.
Yes.
So I started off using the invented by patent by KG6 HQD Jerry speaker wire antenna.
That's right. That's right. Created
And
by him.
lest we forget, he did invent that
Yes, he
antenna.
did.
And that worked fantastic. It was just a 20-meter inverted V speaker wire dipole. That thing works amazing, and no, you don't need a balun.
Yep.
$100. Holy crap!
Whoa, Fred, you're killing
Wow.
me, buddy.
I better
Thank
get a commission on this.
I've got to send all that side balun money over to you. Man, that's awesome. Thank you, Fred. Gosh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I don't know who this is for. Are you saying that to me, or are you saying that to Mike? I should
Probably
make sure.
you have a couple more subscribers than I do.
Fred, thank you. Cheers, buddy. I appreciate it. That warms me up on my cold that I'm having right now.
Yeah, no kidding. So anyway, so I started with the speaker wire antenna. That was the first portable antenna that I made. And then I graduated to the Wolf River Coils antenna, which I actually got the big Silver Bullet 1000.
That's what I have too,
and,
yeah.
I love them. I love Wolf River Coils. They're fantastic. So then I met George at Hamvention from Pac-10. And one of the things that I wanted to get there was an end fed. And he recognized me. He's like, you're Mike. I'm like, yeah.
I remember that. I was talking to you, and you're like, oh yeah, George from Pac-10, and he's also does the Ham Radio Workbench podcast.
Yeah.
We went over and talked to him for a little while. Very cool.
Yes. So he gave me the Pac-10 Mini because he's like, what are you looking for? I'm like, well, I'm here looking for the end fed, and he's just like, here. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, thank you. So I got that antenna, and then shortly he told me he was working on a linked dipole. So I was like, oh, my spidey sense is tingling because I wanted to make a linked dipole, and I wanted to make a speaker wire one, but that didn't work out just because it's a doublet, and that's a whole other thing. But
yeah.
So he sent me the linked dipole. I freaking love that thing. But here's where the compromise comes in. The this thing, the Wolf River Coils.
Yeah.
It's by far the easiest antenna to set up. You put it on the ground, you pull out your radiators, counterpoise wires.
Yep.
And you adjust the coil up and down, whatever, and you're resonant and you go to town. But a dipole is going to get you out a whole lot more, height is might. So hence the 43-foot mast. I want to get that linked dipole up in the air.
Right.
But that takes up, 50, 60 feet of real estate.
Right.
In a park. Now, it is my firm belief, and this just happened when I went QRP, no matter where you are, no matter what day it is, you could be in the most remote part of the world on the face of the earth, right? You set up an antenna, people are going to walk right near it.
Yep.
Or right through it or whatever. So I'm off in my own little private island, basically, at this park. And these campers or hikers come walking like right through the area. Fortunately, yep. I had the Pac-10 Mini up, which is a vertical or a long wire. You can run it however you want, but so they didn't really interfere with it. So you have to think of how long am I going to be out?
Right.
How much time do I want to spend fussing with setting up a dipole where you have to guide the center mast,
yep.
and you have to guide both legs of it. Okay. Yep. And you're taking up a pretty big bit of real estate, right? But you're going to get out. You're going to get out really far. Every time I set up that Pac-10 linked dipole, I get far, yep. Like California far. Kevin, W6RIP, and I made a contact, park to park. And I chose to use that antenna because I know of all the antennas that I own, if I want to get out, that's the one I'm putting up. I'm really, really, really digging the Pac-10 Mini right now because I have a way to set it up. That is stupid easy to set
With
up.
the vertical. With the
With the
vertical, with the guy
yes.
plate. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't use guy plates so much. I have it's in my trunk. I wish I
Oh,
brought
but
it in.
you have the ability to guy it is really what I mean. It's
Yes.
not a
So I
plate.
put a
Yeah.
hose clamp around the top.
Right, right.
I run 3 paracords with a stake in the ground. It literally takes a couple minutes to set up,
Right.
and I hoist it up in the air. I have, of course, power poles that I plug into the
I love that.
counterpoise,
I love that. Yep.
and I'm on the air.
Right.
But that antenna needs a tuner because it's a 9-to-1. I've done a couple
Yes.
videos on it.
Yes.
Now I have a couple ways to use that antenna. That antenna is really becoming my favorite antenna.
Really?
Um,
I didn't
it's
expect a
easier
9-to-1 to be the favorite antenna. A random wire type antenna.
because it takes up so little real estate. Because I'm just going
Okay.
straight up.
Yep.
Okay, my
Yep.
radios are, I don't know, 15. I have no idea what length I cut them for, but they're about 15 or 16 feet maybe.
Mhm.
But now that I have, so I have MFJ sent me 2 radios. They sent me the Xiegu X50105 and they sent me the Xiegu G90, both of which have incredible internal tuners. I can tune 160 to 6 meters on any antenna that I've put on it so far, no problem.
Mhm.
But those are QRP rates. So if I want to run QRP, that's fine. But now I also have this. This is a automatic tuner that makes life a lot easier. I have a portable manual tuner, but you got to sit there and play with the knobs and stuff like that.
Right.
So because I can bring a little bit extra kit or a QRP radio that has an internal tuner, it's faster. It's lighter. I don't need to bring as much stuff. I don't need when I'm running that dipole, I have to bring 100 feet of coax because I got to run 43 feet up that mast.
Ah, right, right.
Then I have to go to wherever my operating position is. So
that's we were talking a little bit beforehand. SOTA and POTA have overlaps, but things like antenna setups, when you're setting up a bigger antenna, particularly at the height you're talking about, you're going to need a lot of coax to be able to run that. So that makes a lot of sense. I didn't even think
not
about
always. You could sit at the base of the antenna and operate there, but I want to be comfortable. I want to have my antenna out away from like the gazebo or wherever I'm operating.
Right.
And I want to sit on the bench. So it's usually, it's 43 feet up and then 30 or 40 feet to my operating position. So yeah, there's 100 feet of coax right there.
That's right.
And that's heavy. Plus all my batteries for my I use my iPhone to film, but I have external batteries to keep it charged. You just bring all kinds of stuff when you're making videos. Tripod, a water bottle, all kinds of other things other than a radio, an antenna, and a microphone. So
you talked about it a little bit. You're trying to get this repeat offender award. So it sounds like you can activate the same park multiple times. Is it like every day?
Yes.
You can activate the same park every day?
Sure.
Oh, cool. Yeah. That's very cool. SOTA, you
Yeah.
can't. I know I'm comparing it to SOTA because that's my experience area, but SOTA is once a year, one mountain. So
Really?
yeah, so if you can do the same park day after day, that's really cool because then you can get a lot of points that way and you can participate because some people may not have multiple parks in their area.
Yeah, and there's like late shift, so anytime after 8:00 at night, if you're at a park, you get a late shift. So there's like go check out Parks on the Air and just go parksontheair.com and look at all the different awards. I mean, there's just an incredible amount of awards, and it just makes it fun. It's just a fun, silly thing to play radio.
Yeah, and
as if we need another excuse, but
right. For everybody that's thinking about like doing this, absolutely check and see if you've got a school in your area. If you've got one close, go check it out and try it. And for those of you, I saw a couple of YouTubers that are in here. They were like, "Oh, hey, I got a park down the street from me." People love activation videos. They love seeing people go outside and play radio. So, just a heads up. That's a good way to make a video if you're interested in doing that for sure. So let's see. So you've been doing this for... Yeah, go ahead.
Let me comment on John Deere's video. He says, I worked at Wolf River Coil in a parking lot right next to the car with the radio right on the roof. My Wolf River Coil's antenna on my trunk gets out so much farther on the trunk than it does on the ground in my experience. So try with no counterpoise, no nothing. It's literally this with the shorter 5-foot whip on a trunk mount. And I've worked Oregon, California. This is all on my lunch breaks, on lunchtime on the air activations. I've gotten farther with my antenna mounted on my car. I guess the car is a big, great counterpoise. So
yeah, well,
yeah.
hopefully, unless it's not bonded or it's a bad ground to begin with. Some cars have
It's not.
some.
If
Oh,
my
okay.
car is off, if my car is on, it's like.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Hey, we
yeah,
got W6 RIP in the house. Thanks for
What's up,
watching.
Kevin?
Appreciate that. Kevin, awesome guy, California. Came out to the hike. And we got W5KUB in the house, too. He live streams every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so check him out. Very cool. So you've been doing this for a little while. I've been... Whoa, Fred. I think Fred took
What?
somebody's credit card number.
That's got to be fake. That's got to be like.
Fred, you are the man. Happy New Year. Wow. Fred is out of control. Thank you,
This is
Fred.
more than when we were posting our guns and.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Fred, if you want to tell us what gun you like, that would be acceptable at this point. Super chat. Thank you, Fred. I appreciate it. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Send me a message or something, or post a question if you've got a question or anything. I appreciate it. So, let's see. You've been doing this for a little while. Do you have any like lessons learned, kind of tips you've learned along the way? I'm sure you do. I'm sure you got a ton. So, what do you think?
Pretty much got it right the first time. No, and
I just walked out and that was it.
Yeah. Every single time you're going to learn something new. The thing that really is always in my mind when anyone asks me this question is always check your connectors. So basically, when I first started doing this, I made a checklist on my iPhone in the Notes app of everything that I needed. Because I was new to this. I'm like, okay, I don't want to screw this up. I don't want to get out there and have something go wrong. So I tried to do a video testing the Wolf River Coils antenna versus the KG6 HQD speaker wire antenna.
Here we go. All right.
Both of them out.
Yeah.
I had everything set up. I had one antenna over here, one antenna, as far away as I could get them from one another. I brought my antenna switch. I brought, the battery and the radio and this, that, everything. Okay. So on the end of my speaker wire antenna, I crimped a PL259. Other people would have like a BNC connector with the binding post or, excuse me, an SO239. But I wanted to just connect it right to my radio. So I would have a barrel connector that I pretty much always had just screwed onto my coax. Well, this day, I did not. And I got everything set up. And I'm ready to get on the air, and I went to go connect the speaker wire antenna to the coax, and I didn't have that little barrel connector, and my heart just sank.
Yep.
And it completely ruined my day.
Right.
And I was only like 25 minutes from home. I could have went home and grabbed it, but that means I got to tear down everything. I got to pack it all up, and this, that, and the other thing. So
it's demoralizing.
Oh, it's the worst feeling in the world. You just you want to cry. So always double check. And you get better at it with time. So now, like, I have this bag here that I keep, and I've showed this in some of my videos. This is just a Condor first aid kit. So all of my little bits and connectors are.
Oh yeah, I've got that same bag. Right? Yeah. Right on.
And I put both my Pac-10 antennas in here. I don't know where the Pac-10 Mini is right now, but so it's all in one little bit of kit. I've got coax here. This is about, 30 feet of coax. So everything is all in one place, and it's always there. So when I go portable, I have a backpack that I bring and put everything in. So I just kind of take everything and throw it in that bag. And I know. So another thing, when you buy a connector, always buy 2 of them at least. So like now I have radios that have BNC connectors. So obviously, I need BNC to SO239s or BNC to PL259s. So I fortunately have a place I can go where I can get coax and I can get connectors. There's a land mobile radio place that both of the guys that work there, the owner, they're both hams. So they sell connectors and things. And I said, Scott, AC8IL, hi Scott, and Glenn. WB8ROI. And then anytime I come in here and I ask for a connector, always make me get 2.
Give me 2. Yep.
You're gonna lose one. You're like, what the hell did I do with that thing? And so always buy 2 of every connector at least. And that's kind of it. I mean, expect you're gonna make mistakes. There's no problem in making mistakes. All we do is learn from them.
Right.
And we get better at it. So now, when I go out, I can be like, all right, I'm going to go out tomorrow, and I kind of want to go out tomorrow, but we'll see how the whiskey treats me and how I feel tomorrow, how the weather is. But
yeah,
I just know if I'm going to go out, I'm like, all right, I need this and this and this, and it's so much routine for me now that I don't forget things anymore. But I hear stories of guys doing soda where they'll get up on the top of the mountain.
Yep.
And they're CW guys, so they don't even think of bringing a mic. They forget their key.
Yep.
Adam, K6ARK, he probably has a story or 2 about that.
Yeah. Everybody has a story like that. It happens. It happens to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the worst feeling in the world. So make a checklist. However you got to do it. Set up the night before. That was one thing that I did a lot when I was first getting into it. I would be in the shack, and I'd be like, all right, what do I need? What do I need? What do I need?
Lay it all out on a table.
Everything that I owned in my bag. And now, so my bag got really heavy. Now I'm trying to shed things and make it a lot less lightweight. So QRP is kind of helping with that. I've got a few lightweight batteries. So I've got these 3 batteries that I'm gonna be playing with. I've got 3 new radios. Adam K6ARK just sent me this awesome antenna.
That's very cool.
And this little 9-to-1 Unon. So I'm going to be playing with these things. I'm really excited for these. Thank you, Adam. So yeah, I mean, just, I don't know, how much more can I beat that to death, I suppose.
Yeah, so MM sent a super chat. Thanks, MM. Have you ever been kicked out of a park? By the way, we're taking all the questions. We're not just taking super chats. Don't worry about that. You don't have to send a super chat to get your question answered. But we do appreciate them, so thank you. Have you ever been kicked out?
No. And,
okay.
I mean, parks do have hours, so I'm sure if I was in after hours, but in the wintertime, there's nobody there anyway.
Yeah, they don't want to deal with it, right? They're just like, whatever, that guy's a crazy person.
Yeah, so you got to check with your own state. So, like in Michigan, I can't throw a rope over a tree and hang an antenna. So that's one of the main reasons that I need.
Whoa!
That is the main reason that I need a mast, okay?
I didn't know that. That's true?
Yes,
that's
legit. That's a Michigan-specific thing. So check your state and how they operate their state parks. Other states, you can do whatever the heck you want.
Wow.
But no, so the other thing is Michigan state parks, the DNR, the Department of Natural Resources, knows about parks on the air. And I guess there's actually like a partnership or something. That might be the wrong verbiage, but yeah, we're in good. Like we're supporting each other basically. Mm-hmm. It's a very positive thing. Like some of the rangers have come by and be like, "What are you doing?" And I'll tell them, I'm like, "Oh, I'm playing ham radio, and it's a parks on the air thing." And you just kind of explain what it is, and they're like, "Okay." They're just interested. They're not like, "What are you doing here?"
Right.
Well, it's not like that at all. It's very welcoming. And I'm sure in a lot of bigger state parks, people aren't even going to know you're there. So, yeah, not at all. Not at all. It's a very positive thing.
Good Game, Ham Radio, Bees, and Outdoors said you've inspired him to activate K8MRD tomorrow or Sunday.
That's fantastic.
And so that is, he's going to make a video too. So very good. Good Game, Ham Radio, Bees, and Outdoors. Right on.
Awesome. Congratulations.
I love that.
Oh, so another thing, and this kind of sounds boastful, but it really isn't. It's the most humbling thing in the world. And I forget his call sign, but there was a guy. There's a ham in New Zealand.
Oh.
That we've emailed a couple times, and he sent me a couple of New Zealand's version of QST, mm-hmm. And because of like watching my videos, and I'm sure hopefully others, that inspired him to get the Parks on the Air program started in the entire country of New Zealand. So now New Zealand has Parks on the Air, Canada has Parks on the Air, England has Parks on the Air. So it's not just a U.S. thing anymore. It's becoming international. So that was the most humbling email I've ever gotten in my life.
That's cool.
And yeah, like, and that's the whole thing with my channel. And I try to say it, but I probably don't say it enough. It's to give back, to kind of pay it forward. You know, I want to kind of tout the positivity of what it is that we do and share the fun. And I've had so much fun watching your videos, Josh, and everyone else, Jason's and Eric's, and you know, the whole crew. And I just wanted to make videos just doing portable stuff, and now people watch me. It's really crazy.
Yeah, and you do great stuff. I watch I think I watch pretty much everything you post, unless, you know, one sneaks by me. But yeah, I love the I love the outdoor activation. When I can't get out there, it feels good to watch somebody doing it. So
Yeah, it's
plus,
fun.
also, you have actual weather. I don't have real weather, so I'm like, what's all that white stuff on the ground? What is that all about?
I wish I didn't have that.
Winter field day for me is like, oh, I guess I can go to the beach and hang out. It's like 50.
Yeah, bummer.
So depressing.
It was
It's
definitely
overcast.
at least 0 degrees for our winter field day last year. So
Yeah.
no fun. But we had a trailer that was heated, so that was good.
So somebody asked, let's see, James Hart asked, okay, so any clue as to the size of battery I will need for my 25-watt radio? I'm thinking 12 volt, of course 12 amp hour. So I think you got those flipped. Of course 12 volts is a nat, you have to have that. But then how many amp hours? So how many amp hours do you generally need to do your activation? And then, you know, what does that mean?
Amp for a 25-watt radio?
He said 25-watt radio, but I mean, you can start there and go up to 100-watt because that's going to vary greatly. So,
the first thing I would do would be to see how much current your radio actually draws.
good point.
So, for example, my 891 draws a solid 1 amp. So if I have, say, a 10 amp hour battery, which I do, that's a 10 amp hour battery. If it's just sitting there, it'll last me 10 hours. Depending on the chemistry, though, lithium iron phosphate, this is a 10 amp hour battery, I'm going to get every last amp hour out of this. If you're using sealed lead acid, whatever the battery rating is for, half that, because you're only going to get half of the amp hours out of it.
Right.
Then you also want to think, well, are you running 25 watts, or are you running 20 or 5 or 10 or whatever? So I would do some tests on how much current it actually draws. With a 25-watt radio, I would guess you're probably going to draw maybe 6 amps on sideband, maybe 7. So with a 10 or 12 amp hour battery, probably a couple hours at least of operating. It also depends on, you know, are you running...
My dog just freaked out. Hold on one second. You keep going, Mike. I'm going to mute myself for a second.
Are you running a pile-up? Are you just constantly banging out contacts? But I'll tell you what, with my Yaesu 891 and that 10 amp hour battery, I've never ran it dry, and I've ran pile-ups for, I would probably say I could run pile-ups for a few hours with this radio at 100 watts. I really run 90 watts. I don't like to push it to the full limit. So yeah, you got to check your current and how much it's rated for. So these little guys here, these are 3 and 6 amp hour batteries. So like this, this radio right here draws about a quarter, maybe 0.35 amps on receive. So, I mean, you can go all day on receive with just one of these little batteries, and you're going to pull, I think it's about 1 1/4 amps. If I just lay down the key on CW, full blast is about 1 1/4 amps, but I don't do CW. I'm a sideband guy.
Right.
So this battery, I mean, I could definitely do an activation with this tiny little battery and that radio. So you don't need much. 10 amps, if you have a lithium iron, definitely get lithium iron phosphate if you can afford it. It's lighter, it's better. Every single thing about it is better. There's nothing wrong with a sealed lead acid. You could absolutely use a sealed lead acid with a 25 watt radio and not worry about burning it out. They're just heavier, and if it's a 10 amp hour battery, it's really only 5 amps. Or you run it lower than that, you'll kill it.
So I know Mike uses these. I have one of these as well. These are little inline. They check how much battery the load is pulling, and these are great for checking if you don't know how much power the radio is pulling. You use one of these guys in line between the battery and the radio, and you will you can see really quickly what its draw rate is, and that's helpful to know Do keep in mind, as Mike said, you are the pileup, so you are going to be transmitting a lot.
Yes.
And so it's not going to be an 80-20 thing or a 50-50 thing in some cases. You could be
It
transmitting
probably
a
is
lot.
more. It's pretty much 50-50, I would say.
That's
when you're running
considerable,
a pileup.
yeah.
Yeah. So, somebody said something about FT8. You don't have to call CQ POTA on FT8. You just call CQ, just like you normally would. A contact is a contact. It can be digital. It can be whatever. So, yeah, I don't know if it'll actually spell it out though. But you can use JS8 call if you want. You can do anything you want. Doesn't matter.
Do you do digital? Have you done digital in the field?
I have not. I'm not much of a digital guy. If I'm bored at home, I'll hop on FT8.
No, I mean in for a POTA activation. Have you done that?
I have not, no. But one of the guys in my club, John, does do FT8 out in the field. So,
okay, right on.
Yeah, you just set it up and you call just like normal. And when you submit your log, I'm at kilo 1495 or whatever, and they all count. Doesn't matter.
Conference muted.
Okay,
Unmuted.
Oops, sorry. I'm gonna turn on. Do you have anything else you want to say? Is it all right if I turn on the call-ins?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. All right. Call-ins are on for anybody that wants to call in and ask a question for Mike on Parks on the Air. It really could be anything, but it would be nice to do some Parks on the Air stuff, because I know that is quite popular right now. Let's see if I've got all the questions. I've been trying to get questions as they came in on the chat room. I know Mike's been doing that as well. So,
I've been trying.
When we were chatting beforehand, you mentioned making sure you got a lot of water. That's a huge thing for soda, by the way.
Yes.
And extra batteries. I'm sure you bring extra stuff. Is there, aside from connectors, is there anything else you bring that you got to have an extra of, or something that you make sure you have more of than you generally use?
Not really. I mean, it's basically connectors. I mean, I have a length of coax. I make all my own coax. I know they work. I don't make them. I crimp the ends on. It's really not much. I don't bring extra batteries. I bring a battery, and I know how long. Hi, Sterling. I know how long they last, and I have that watt meter, so I can monitor how many amp hours I've used. And usually, it's kind of you'll have a pile up for a while, and they'll be banging, and then it just kind of fades away. And sometimes they last longer than others. I mean, depending on propagation. So yeah, I mean, you don't need a lot. You need a radio, an antenna, and a battery, and some way to get that antenna up in the air. That's about it.
Yeah, since it's a park, you're not really technically going that far, and you can run a lot of stuff out of your car, so you could overpack a little bit in your car, and you just leave it there, right?
Absolutely, and that's what I've been overpacking, but I've been carrying it with me. So I'm trying to lighten the load a little bit, even with my 100-watt rig. But yeah, I mean, some guys have some of the guys in my club have so much stuff. They have like these collapsible wheelbarrows or like trolley cart things, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
And they're just bringing so much stuff. I'm like, good God, man, that's insane. But yeah,
I gotta have my solar-powered refrigerator to run the POTA here.
Whatever.
So we got a call, AE4MQ, who is our basically the Sherpa of the HRCC hike that we did. He carried definitely the most amount of weight, helping people out. How's it going, Matt?
Hey, Josh, how you doing?
Good. What's up?
Hey, Mike.
I bet.
So I'm doing well. It's not just me. There's a group of us doing a POTA activation over the summer, and we're planning it out. We're working through the battery thing, and we're working through everything right now. We're going out to the Dry Tortugas over the summer.
Oh wow!
To activate out there. That's obviously that's like 4 different groups that we hit. POTA's one of them. And I was just wondering if you had any tips of like something we might forget to bring, because it's like we're planning on bringing multiple radios, multiple operators, which means multiple batteries, multiple everything, and it's like
fuses.
Are we gonna
fuses?
Pardon me?
Fuses.
Oh.
Yeah.
Didn't even think of that.
Your fuse blows, your whole expedition's done. I mean, you could rig it, but
that I'm gonna let me throw that into the list.
Those are very important.
So yeah.
If you can unify, if you can create like a generalization of everybody's on PL259s versus B and Cs, that will make things easier too, because then you don't need adapters, right? Because if you lose an adapter, you're also hosed, and everybody does that. It seems that seems to be where everybody adapters and batteries that aren't charged. Since you are camping, you could have a solar panel, and you could be charging off of that. I think you already are planning to do that.
Yeah, we have to go solar. There's no power within 70 miles.
Yeah, I've never done the expedition, so that's I don't know, but I mean, I would imagine, much like a lot of other things in life, it's the little details like fuses and connectors and things. And if you guys are all on power poles and you guys are all on, like Josh said, one type of connector, I would imagine that would be beneficial.
Yeah.
Same types of coax might matter, I suppose.
Gosh, what else? The ability to charge all your stuff is going to be huge because you're going to be out there for a couple of days, Matt, right?
Yeah, the goal is to be able to keep at least one radio operating for 72 hours. I mean,
the keeping a radio on the air for 72 hours is an ambitious goal. It's the overnight that's going to be tricky, so you're going to need a big battery to do that.
Yeah, that's what we're at. So, because out there, the propagation out there is just supposed to be incredible, and of course the noise floor is going to be insanely low.
Right.
That's awesome.
So, but we'll give you guys more details, obviously, as we get closer. We're still, unfortunately, we have to. There's a lot of permitting, believe it or not, that goes into this one, because it's a national park, and they don't just let you walk out there with a radio and set it up.
I know that's crazy to me.
So
toilet paper would probably be pretty important too.
Yeah.
It's the little details.
I'm sure that's stuff.
Matt is
that's probably.
Matt has a chat room on Discord. In our Discord, Matt has a chat room where he's planning this. So if anybody's interested in this, I think everybody's welcome. If you're interested, though, join the Discord and go to the what is it called? The hashtag what?
They actually have to just message me because it has perms on it, because we've been trying to. We've been doing so many plans on it, so much planning on it, so we don't lose stuff in there.
Okay.
It's only a small group of us right now, but as we get stuff nailed down, we will definitely open that up. And this is the first of hopefully many little things.
Very cool. Well, thanks for calling in, Matt. And we can take the rest of this probably to the after chat, I think.
Oh yeah.
All right, Mike. Is there anything we didn't hit?
Probably.
Well, for everything we didn't hit, make sure that you go and subscribe to Mike, K8MRD.
Yes.
Big thanks.
You can put comments in the videos. You can email me. What the hell's my email? K8MRD@iCloud. Whatever. I mean, I have. On my channel, I have a presentation from Tom and Julie Martin, K8VOX and W8TAM. They're some of the administrators of Parks on the Air. They have a whole presentation that they did at Hamvention, so I recorded that and posted it up. So you can kind of see their presentation and their kind of keynote thing. If you want to see a little bit more specifics, or honestly just like watch a video that I do. It's not hard, guys. I can do it. So
right on. Very good.
Yeah.
Well, we thank you for coming out. I'm going to hop over real quick. Mike, are you going to go to the Discord for a little while? You got time to do that?
Yeah, I can probably hang out for a little bit.
Right on. Okay, so everybody, thanks for hopping out. This was the patron picks, and if it wasn't for the patrons, this would not be possible, particularly the producer-level patrons like Carrie Blackwell, and there's the screen, Jason Brown, Jason Siebert, David Dancero. Oh, Zach. Zach did a super chat to tell people to join the Discord. Thank you, Zach. Jason Siebert, Dave. Oh man, this is gonna kill my voice. Danny Miller, Wesley Magyar, Barbara Schrock, Will Ladd, Evan Hartman, Franklin Lewis, Brad Snyder. Let me go ahead and mute Mike for a second. Dennis Dunderdale, Garrett Larson, Jonathan Franson, 86 DM Dennis, The Wyoming Ham, Randall Hinsley, Dennis Mickelson, George Gaini, Andy, Kenny Miyamoto, Ron Thorson, Ken Hall, Sean Bales, Dragetshevik, Chad, Rob Zayers, Devin B. Hedge, Mark Chase, Raymond Cracker, Geraldo Kelso, Rob K8BCR, Lee Harrell, Mike Kearney, Steve Barker, Mark Fields, Corey Sheldon, Brad Nadeau, Stephen Hunt, Connor Carroll, Mike Marusin, Mike Hurley, Gerald Carpenter, The Brew Crew, which I'll hold up my beer that I didn't even finish, because, man. Stephen Hunter, Justin Rao, Stephen Carduz, Brian Fairbanks, Richard Smith, Hercules, KC1LZR, Mike Zarrett, John Flowers, Steve Blandford, Mike Wright, Tan Hat, Mill McCarty, Good Game Bees, who was in the stream earlier, David Gerald, Mike Deards. It's like Beards, but with a D. He sent me a message so I can remember that. Nicholas Dubé, Michael Ifrato, and Don Riley. Whew, I got all the way through it. My voice is shot. Again, Mike, thanks for heading out or hanging out with us. That was a lot of fun. Oh, I had you muted. Yeah, no, wait, there we go. Now you're back on. Sorry about that.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I'm going to go take a shot of whiskey, use the restroom, and then I'm going to hop over to the Discord, and then we can talk over there. So, again, it was great talking to everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Mike, you can take us out if you want.
Okay. Josh, thanks so much for having me on here. I've been watching you for years, and now here I am on your channel. So it is quite the honor and privilege. And with that, I'll say 73s. Thanks, guys. We'll see you later.